Thank you for engaging with NAEYC Accreditation of Early Learning Programs Resource Webinar, Preparing for a Site Visit. This webinar is to help programs learn successful strategies from a program perspective and the inside scoop from the assessor's point of view. My name is Megan Hickey, and I am a Quality Improvement Specialist in the Program Support and Quality Improvement Department of the NAEYC Accreditation of Early Learning Programs. During this webinar, we will touch on some of the basics of the accreditation process that relate to the site visit, acquire in-depth knowledge of how quality improvement is demonstrated during the site visit through group observation by looking at specifics from the assessor perspective and also from the administrator perspective. We'll go over knowing exactly what is going to happen on the day of the visit with respect to the classroom assessment, and become familiar with other resources relevant to preparing for classroom evaluation. The site visit occurs during step 4 of the accreditation process, but for a brief review of the other steps. Step 1 is enrollment, when a program expresses interest in accreditation and begins examining program practice through self-study. Step 2 is application, when the program formally commits to demonstrating high-quality practices using the self-assessment tools to collect evidence. Step 3 is candidacy, when the programs are ready for the site visit and submit a subset of their evidence to be reviewed by NAEYC staff. And step 4 is the site visit. If a program successfully earns NAEYC accreditation after the site visit, it will begin a 5-year term of NAEYC accreditation. Throughout its term of NAEYC accreditation, the program continues its focus on self-study. On each anniversary of accreditation, the program shifts its focus to self-assessment, in which the program compiles evidence that demonstrates how a program is meeting the 10 standards as it works on annual reports. Additionally, the program enters a focused period of self-assessment in its final year of accreditation as it engages in the renewal process and prepares for a site visit for renewal. If the program earns a decision of accredited after a site visit for renewal, it will begin a new term of NAEYC accreditation immediately after the old term expires. Throughout the program's new term of NAEYC accreditation, it will continue its focus on continuous quality improvement through self-study and will enter predictable periods of self-assessment. It is important to note that self-study is not a process that takes place only during the enrollment period. Self-study is an ongoing process in which the program continually engages in reflection on their practices in order to better align themselves with the 10 standards. It's an ongoing journey. This process can include continuing to build shared understandings in which you are getting and keeping teaching staff and families on board with working towards higher level of quality, continuing to gather evidence as your program changes and improves, determining strengths and weaknesses, making improvements and documenting results, and evaluating the results and next steps to be taken. It is an ongoing process focused on continuous quality improvement within your program. NAEYC staff looks at observable evidence from multiple perspectives. For evidence seen, assessors will look at the setup of the room, both permanent and temporary aspects, the adequacy of the room size, and the size of learning centers. They'll also look at equipment and materials available and unavailable, and if there's enough for the children and if it's developmentally appropriate in its variety. They'll look at everything on the walls. They'll look at the cleanliness, wear and tear, and the equipment used, the tripping hazards, the choking hazards, the safety hazards, and signs of curriculum, the class routines, teaching practices, and communication practices throughout their classroom. For evidence heard, the assessor will observe ambient noises in the environment. If there's music, what kind of music, how much music, and the volume of the music, either being played or produced by the teaching staff. The speech and conversations happening in the classroom between staff and children, staff and families, staff to staff, and the tone of that conversation. Is it respectful? Is it happy? Is it perfunctory? Is it conversational, or is it varied? For evidence smelled, the assessor will observe unpleasant smells, or pleasant smells, which could include Play-Doh, faint odors of bleach and hand soap, and also for this, no smell is fine. Evidence felt, the assessor will observe a variety of textures, soft areas, and safe things within your classroom. Assessors will look at all environments, both indoors and outdoors. Assessors will observe the behavior of staff and children. They will look for what is happening and what isn't happening, such as missed opportunities for important interactions. In regards to the time dimension, programs should note assessors are in the classroom for exactly 1 hour, but will also observe all the environments in your program. Currently, the site visit assessment item count is 394 items that programs can be assessed on during a site visit. Additionally, programs should note that a large number of indicators for the site visit are in Standard 1, Relationships, Standard 2, Curriculum, Standard 3, Teaching, Standard 5, Health, and Standard 9, the Physical Environment. In terms of scoring, programs must pass 80% of the criteria for each standard, and each class must pass their observation at least 70%. The assessment is evidence-based. Assessors are looking for evidence in your portfolios and in the observations. Assessors will do this using the following tools. They will use the classroom observation and program observation tools. Assessors will choose a random selection to rate out of everything that programs have prepared. They'll be in the classroom for an hour, and of course, while they cannot see everything that reflects your high quality program, that is why they will also assess the portfolios so that you can continue to tell your story of high quality, even if it's not seen in that 1 hour observation. And because NAEYC involves all the stakeholders in high quality early learning experience, we will also assess the family and teaching staff surveys that will impact your scoring for the standards and criteria. For the selection of classrooms to be observed on the site visit, they will be randomly selected within each age category to reflect 50% of all classes in your program, observing one class of every age category a program serves, and includes all sites of the program, such as satellite locations. Classroom portfolios are reviewed for the group selected for the observation. Not all classroom portfolios are reviewed unless all of your classes are observed. In the assessment protocols, they assure reliability of the assessment. They are revised periodically as our system evolves for continuous quality improvement on NAEYC's side, and are fully transparent and available on our website for programs to view exactly how an assessor will prepare for the site visit and will conduct the site visit, and will have access to the observation tools to conduct practice observations. You can access all of this on our website at www.naeyc.org/academy. As of October 2016 revisions, we have changed the language for children in your program from group to class. This is a more accurate reflection of current practice. How a program defines a class may differ from how NAEYC defines a class, but for NAEYC accreditation purposes, a class is defined as eligible aged children who are assigned to a specific teacher or teaching team for more than 2 continuous hours in a defined space and limited intermingling with children from other classes. These protocols pertain to any group that is randomly chosen on the day of the site visit using the rules previously detailed. 50% of the total number of groups at a program and at least one of each age category. Observations will be made at different times of the day to ensure quality across the specific teacher or teaching team for more than 2 continuous hours in a defined space and limited intermingling with children from other classes. These protocols pertain to any group that is randomly chosen on the day of the site visit using the rules previously detailed. 50% of the total number of groups at a program and at least one of each age category. Observations will be made at different times of the day to ensure quality across the program day. Assessors will rate routines like lunch, arrival and departure, nap prep, outdoor play, or transitions. A group is observed for at least 60 minutes with two possible 10-minute time exceptions when there's a change in environments or when infants are sleeping. Observations can occur at any time as long as at least one child is awake for at least 20 minutes. Assessors shouldn't change the observation times, will remain with the children, and will be unobtrusive. For the class observation protocol, programs can review the pre-visit and site visit protocol that are available on our website. During the observation, assessors will refrain from talking. It is not always possible to completely refrain from talking to staff or children, but they will avoid conversations. Note assessors may be looking at their phones during observations to check for time, not to text. Assessors will maintain a neutral facial expression to decrease teachers' anxiety about being assessed, while also not inviting conversation or engagement by staff or children. If we do that, then we are altering the dynamic of what we are assessing. Assessor notes are objective, recording what the assessor observes and not opinions about what is observed. Now we'll review the site visit process. The requirements for programs for the site visit are that they meet all required criteria, candidacy requirements, and eligibility requirements, and that they meet the 10 NAEYC Early Learning Program standards and criteria by demonstrating that at least 80% of the assessed criteria is met for each standard, and each group observed meets at least 70% of the assessed criteria. The tasks for program are to demonstrate how your program meets the 10 NAEYC Early Learning Program standards and criteria. Additionally, they'll review the current pre-visit and site visit protocol, review the administrator information packet, make sure all program portfolios and classroom portfolios, teaching staff surveys, family surveys, and survey tally sheets are completed and in one location. Another task is that they'll receive contact from the assigned assessor, and they'll receive a visit scheduling form where they can choose one exclusion day per month. The program will then receive a 15-day window, and then following the 15-day window, they will receive a business day prior call informing the program of the actual visit day. Then the program will participate in the site visit, and following the visit, they will complete an evaluation. A program can choose to postpone a site visit for any reason once they are notified of the 15-day window. Submitting the postponement form and applicable fee will postpone the visit for 1 calendar month. NAEYC assessors are highly trained and continuously monitored for their reliability in performing the site visit assessment. Assessors must also follow clear and consistent procedures in preparation for these accreditation visits. The protocol describes the assessor's tasks to be performed in advance of a NAEYC accreditation visit. The assessor protocol and procedure is referenced throughout the pre-visit and site visit protocol. It includes additional details for the assessors describing how a specific protocol is executed. After a program is accepted as a candidate for accreditation by NAEYC, they will be contacted by a NAEYC assessor. While NAEYC headquarters is located in Washington, D.C., NAEYC assessors are located in different regions throughout the country. The assessor schedules and conducts the site visit and then sends data collected during the site visit back to NAEYC for scoring so that an accreditation decision can be rendered. NAEYC assessors are highly trained and continuously monitored for their reliability in performing the site visit assessment. Assessors must also follow clear and consistent procedures in preparation for these accreditation visits. The protocol describes the assessor tasks to be performed in advance of the NAEYC accreditation visits. The program will receive notification from NAEYC that they are approved as a candidate or that their renewal materials were approved, and they should expect contact from an assessor. The first step in scheduling is to confirm days and dates when a visit may not be conducted. The initial contact with the program includes both a phone call and an email, including the visit scheduling form. The assessor may determine if the phone call or email will be initiated first. The program has up to 5 business days to return the visit scheduling form to the assessor. The due date is calculated beginning with the date that the form is sent. Regardless of how the visit scheduling form is sent to the program's visit window begins on the date indicated on the visit scheduling form. The program's visit window ends 6 months after the program's candidacy or renewal due date within which the visit will take place. The visit may be scheduled no later than the end of the 6-month period after the candidacy or renewal due date. Assessors will require a workspace to use during the visit. They will need enough space to review and rate the portfolios and have access to electrical outlets. Privacy and adult-sized furnishings, such as chairs and tables, are not required but would be greatly appreciated as the assessor will be working for several hours at a time. After the program's non-operational and exclusion dates for the months when the accreditation visit may occur are finalized, it is up to the assessor to set the date for which the visit will occur. The date is based on the assessor availability and the coordination with other accreditation visits in the area. The exact visit date is not communicated to the program until 1 business day before the visit occurs. However, the program is notified of a 15-day business window, Monday through Friday, within which the visit will occur. This notification should be made by the assessor as soon as the dates can be determined, so the program knows when to be prepared for the visit. The 15-day business window does not include weekend days. Therefore, it may span 3 or 4-week period. The 15 days include all Mondays through Fridays from the first date through the last date of the window. There may be federal, non-operational, or exclusion dates within the window. These dates do not lengthen the 15-day business window. It is understood that the visit will not occur on federal, non-operational, or exclusion dates. The Administrator Information Packet will contain information and samples of forms that may be used throughout the course of the visit. Administrators are encouraged to carefully review the forms, and the administrator can contact the assessor with any questions during the business day prior call, and they may be asked to refer back to the packet during the visit. The administrator is informed that the assessor will be completing these forms electronically as needed throughout the visit. It is not necessary that the administrator print off copies, but they can choose to do so. Programs may request a postponement of an accreditation visit by submitting the postponement form and applicable fee once they are notified of their 15-day window. Postponement requests will not be accepted after the program has received the business day prior call. If the scheduling of an accreditation visit is postponed, NACCE is no longer bound to provide a visit within the 6 months of the candidacy renewal due date. In order to stop the accreditation visit after a program receives its business day prior call, the program must withdraw from the accreditation process. Assessors should continue the scheduling process, as in not canceling flights, hotel bookings, until the postponement has been confirmed by NACCE. The steps in the postponement process are that the program submits the postponement request form and payment. The program and the assessor receive an approval email from NACCE with a new 3-month calendar attached. Program has 5 business days to complete the new 3-month calendar and return to NACCE. Then NACCE sends the assessor the updated 3-month calendar. The program will receive a new 15-day window, and the program will receive a business day prior call to confirm the visit date. For the business day prior notification, the assessor will call the primary contact person on the business day prior of the scheduled visit. If the visit is to start on a Monday, then the assessor will call on a Friday. If the program is not open on Fridays and the visit is to start Monday, the assessor will contact on a Thursday. If the visit is to start on the day after a federal holiday, non-operational day, or exclusion date, then the assessor will call on the last fully operational day. On the day of the visit, each source of evidence will be reviewed and the time allotted to complete the related assessment tool is identified on the accreditation visit schedule. The schedule will include the maximum protocol allowance for each scheduled task with the assessor discretion for the portfolio evidence task. The lead assessor is responsible for preparing and printing the schedule prior to the arrival at the program. For the observations, there will be no more than 4 observations to be completed in 1 visit day per assessor. It is up to the assessor's discretion to conduct a 4-observation accreditation visit in 1 or 2 days. Factors that should be considered when determining if a 4-day observation accreditation visit should be completed in 1 day versus across 2 consecutive days would include the program's operating hours, keeping in mind that assessors should not request that the program extend their business hours rather than conduct the accreditation visit across 2 consecutive days. The schedule must be created using specific required outlines on the accreditation visit scheduler template. The assessor's availability, such as the amount of visits they have scheduled, personal commitments, etc. The assessor's stamina during the visit length. Accreditation visits are completed in no more than 2 consecutive business days. Accreditation visits should not be completed across a weekend, such as a visit beginning on Friday and completed on a Monday, nor should there be an exclusion day in between a 2-day accreditation visit. Assessors will complete a maximum of 10 total observations per full accreditation visit. Some of the tasks on the accreditation visit must be completed in a specific sequence or at a specific time with respect to the beginning or end of the visit. Other tasks may be ordered in whatever way best suits the assessor's appraisal of the program schedule and the assessor's needs. Factors affecting scheduling and order of tasks include the time of day the program opens and closes, whether classes to be observed meet full day, part day, and or not every day, whether classes to be observed have nap times, the size of the program, including whether the program has satellite locations. The lead assessor will identify him or herself and introduce all other assessor roles if applicable. If assessors are doing a multi-day visit, they may choose to give the program administrator a business card that includes your cell phone number. It may be important for a program to be able to contact the assessor by phone if a problem arises after hours between your days at the program. If it is a reliability visit or a research visit, the assessor will remind the program administrator and staff that that is the case. For the schedule of events, the assessor will review the accreditation visit schedule and provide a copy to the program administrator. They will leave the names of the teaching staff off of the schedule prior to the orientation meeting. At that time during the meeting, the assessor will ask the program administrator for the names of the teaching staff who will be with each randomly selected class for the NAEYC accreditation visit. They will ask the administrator if any break subs or other adults are scheduled to be in the classes during the observations, and these will be noted on the schedule as well. As the assessor reviews each class with the program administrator, they will confirm the age categories for each class. If there is a mixed age class, the assessor will verbally confirm with the program that they are prepared for you to review the classroom portfolios using criteria from each age category, as well as assess the class through observations using the criteria in each age category. Assessors will verify that they are observing at least half of the total number of all classes to a maximum of 10 observations and seeing at least one example of each age category in the program. They will also verify that the scheduled times for the class observation are times when those classes are in session and not napping. For programs with infant classes, verify all times that infants are not anticipated to be asleep during the scheduled observation time. Any time when a class is in session with one or more awake children is a valid time to observe. Observation time should not be moved or rescheduled around special events such as art, music, or walks. Observation times may be moved or changed if a class is going on a field trip or will be transported off-site. Otherwise, assessors should make every effort to observe classes at the time originally scheduled. For reviewing the portfolios, the assessor will let the program administrator know that only the classroom portfolios for the selected classrooms will be reviewed. If the program has created electronic classroom or program portfolios, the assessor will verify that the scheduled allowed time, 10 to 15 minutes, for the program staff to orient assessors to the portfolio software, computer, and logistics. This is not a time in which evidence is being assessed, but rather an opportunity to understand the mechanics and navigation of the electronic portfolios. This may include the passwords and login information necessary to complete the review, the location of the portfolio on the computer, and other such information. All passwords and login information will remain confidential. Assessors will review the program and classroom portfolios in a private space, preferably not an active classroom. When reviewing the survey evidence, assessors will request to have a copy of the completed NAEYC family and teaching staff surveys available to review after the orientation meeting. They will inform the administrator that the family and teaching staff surveys will be checked following the orientation meeting using the evidence check form. They will review the form of the program at this time. Following the orientation meeting, the assessor will complete the evidence check form. These documents are not sent back to NAEYC but are verified on-site for completion. If the program collected the surveys via an online survey service, requested printouts will be asked from the assessor that will provide the following information: the language of the question included in the survey, the total number of individuals surveyed completed for all sites within the program, and the individual responses to each question for each survey completed. Following the site visit, the assessor will inform the program administrator that copies of all completed forms will be available within 2 business days of visit completion. However, at this time, they will offer the program administrator an opportunity to make photocopies of the schedule and any other paper documents. Then they will tell the program administrator that upon completion of the visit, no further alterations to the scoring tool will be made. The assessor will then send digital copies of all completed forms within 2 business days of the site visit. The visit completion packet will include a list of all attached digital documents, a reminder of any paper documents the program was permitted to copy prior to the end of the visit, specific instructions for any follow-up if needed, such as reporting staff changes, responding to possible failure of a required criterion, and a link to the administrator evaluation of the site visit. Programs are asked to complete the survey within 5 business days of the receipt of the site visit completion packet. Programs will receive one of the following accreditation decisions within 3 months of the site visit. Programs will either become accredited, and programs will receive notification that they met the site visit requirements. Programs can become accredited with additional verification required. This means that NAEYC has identified an area of concern related to full compliance within a required criterion. While this concern was not determined to be a serious violation, as a condition of accreditation, the program must submit one of the following: a verification visit or a withdrawal from NAEYC accreditation and resubmission of the application to continue towards NAEYC accreditation. The third option is that their accreditation is deferred. Programs will receive notification that they do not meet the site visit requirements. Programs must submit an option form by the established due date. Programs will be offered the following options. They can continue towards NAEYC accreditation by submitting a new application and fee, or they can appeal the accreditation decision by moving forward with the formal appeal process. When preparing for a site visit, programs will demonstrate their competency and understanding of the NAEYC program standards to a NAEYC assessor through evidence gathered by observations, surveys, and reflections in a portfolio. The site visit provides an independent assessment that a program fully meets the NAEYC Early Learning Program standards. During the site visit, an assessor will collect data from the program based on observations and evidence that the program completed during self-assessment. Following a site visit, the data collected is sent to NAEYC for scoring. For a program, there are 2 groups doing a great deal of work to prepare for the visit: the administrator and the teachers. Some of the practices that have been successful for the administrators are having practice classroom observations prior to the visit, ensuring that CPR and first aid cards are arranged by classroom and ready for the day of the visit, ensuring portfolios are prepared and organized clearly, making sure surveys are organized and ready to be assessed, creating a tour checklist for observable evidence, and having a final checklist prior to the visit day when you receive the business day prior call. Some of the practices that have been successful for teachers are portfolio building used to understand what evidence is necessary, given opportunities to ask questions and talk through what is expected during the visit, participating in trainings related to accreditation, and ensuring that classes are ready and organized prior to the visit to reduce stress on the day of the visit. These are the required criteria that are assessed during an observation. For observational assessment purposes, the assessor is watching to see that the criteria are met by the teaching staff and all adults in the room. All required criteria must pass in order to become accredited and maintain accreditation. The required criteria are 1B09, no physical punishment or coercion, 5A03, first aid and pediatric CPR, 5A12, indicator A, back to sleep on infant sleep surface approved by the Consumer Product Safety Commission, and supervision appropriate to age, which is 3C02 and 3C04. There are separate criteria dependent on age for the supervision. Infant toddlers must be sight and sounds at all times, while preschool and kindergarten classrooms have more flexibility on the frequency of sight and or sound supervision. Keep in mind that all staff need to be aware of these criteria, including substitutes, floaters, or other adults. The earlier graph highlighted standards that had a high number of observable criteria as listed here. Following, we'll review questions for programs to consider in regards to what assessors look for during an observation related to those key areas. Key areas routinely assessed during observations for Standard 1, relationships. Assessors are looking at the quality of the relationships in the classroom because relationships are at the heart of what high quality practice is about. We often talk about the physical environment, but staff should be aware of the emotional environment as well. What does it feel like to be in the classroom as a teacher, as a parent, and most importantly as a child? Additional considerations could be what kind of conversations are occurring within the classroom? What is the overall tone of the room? Is there consistent behavior management? Is there true conversation as well as management talk? In regards to Standard 2 curriculum, programs can begin their focus with questions that look into the intentionality of the lessons in the classroom. Is it benefiting the children, and how is it benefiting the children? Additional considerations could be, in regards to the equipment, is it varied? Is there enough? Is it accessible? In regards to books, are there various types, and how are they integrated into the learning centers? Does the curriculum often unfold through self-chosen play activities? Is it meaningful and purposeful for the children? Are all children engaged? And is there some individuated curriculum? Some considerations in regard to observational teaching practices for programs could be, is there evidence of developmentally appropriate practice? Is there a balance of child-directed and teacher-directed activities? How do the teachers respond to conflict? What do transitions look like? Is there some individualized and or small group teaching? Additional considerations for health and safety observations could be, is there an apparent routine? NAEYC has tools and guidance to support this, such as the cleaning, sanitizing, and disinfecting frequency table. Consider all smells in your classroom. What do supervision practices look like? Is your staff well practiced in hand hygiene, diapering, and other important sanitary routines? Are there apparent choking hazards, tripping hazards, or things like trash on the playground? Additional considerations for your program environments could be, how are the children's environments being utilized? What's the environment for the playground look like? What's the availability of materials and centers? What do the classroom displays look like? And what is the feeling when you get when you're in the classroom or in the program? NAEYC has various resources for programs to utilize for accreditation. Programs are encouraged to attend NAEYC conferences, trainings, and view webinars on our website. Programs should be signed up for our program news, formerly our e-updates, to stay up to date with any information or changes at NAEYC. Programs are encouraged to reach out to their accreditation facilitation projects, AFPs, and affiliate chapters for local support and networking with other programs involved with NAEYC. NAEYC accreditation of early learning programs now offers on-site trainings that can be customized to your center's needs. The request form is available on our website. The NACCE accreditation website has various supports and all the information and forms programs will need regarding accreditation. Programs can always contact the Quality Improvement and Program Support team at 1-800-424-2460 or email at accreditation.information@nacce.org. NACCE offers top-notch technical assistance to programs interested in or engaging in the accreditation process. Programs can submit a consultation request today on our website to speak with one of our expert accreditation team members. Thank you for viewing the webinar. If you should have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact us at 1-800-424-2460 or email at accreditation.information@nacce.org.